Forza Motorsport is officially 1 year old as of last week, and now we have update 13 as their anniversary update. So let me take you through everything that you need to know about this new update to Forza Motorsport. To start with, I'm going to mention the known issues. This is only applicable to Xbox Series S, where quality mode in any career intro cinematic can experience frame rate issues and low dynamic resolution. Fix for this issue is being worked on and will be made available in a future update. Now for new features and content, there is a brand new mode for drifting, which is a game type option in free play and private multiplayer, and this includes a new best drift scoring option for the highest single continuous drift score, even across multiple laps, in addition to best lap and total score. Any segment of any track can be drifted for a score, and there's also keep it going. Crossing the finish line will automatically bank your lap score and restart scoring for a new lap. Players earn drift score based on speed, angle and duration of each drift, and this must be successfully banked to count. A new drift zone tab has been added to Rivals, where you can compete for the highest drift lap score leaderboards in several new events, and the drift scoring has also been added to meetup game type options for private drift meetups, and they are planning to add public drift meetups in a future update. The gameplay and HUD settings menu includes an option to turn on the drift scoring HUD in other modes, however it will remain off in featured multiplayer races, and the drift camera setting now applies to in-car and follow cameras when enabled, and too much rotation leaving the track or collisions can break a drift score. To bank a drift, you need to stop drifting without breaking your score. They've also added practice and qualifying in private multiplayer, and you can find this new option in the event setup menu under the event format, along with the options for practice time limit, number of qualifying laps, and intermission periods. You may choose to be a spectator for the race that follows practice by selecting spectate race from the pre-race or pause menu at any time during the practice session. Then for the Forza race regulations, the FRR penalty system now displays the severity of a collision in UI notifications, replacing the avoidable contact messaging, and individual FRR infractions now have a maximum penalty times depending on the collision severity, reducing cases where players were over-penalized before. And the off-track notifications now display FRR ruling, so there's a small time gain, large time gain, or a maximum time gain. And note that the penalty time incurred is a scaling multiplier on time gained, so penalty amounts vary for each. If no time was gained, there is no penalty. And update 13 also includes general accuracy improvements based on the updated data capture system introduced in update 12. For some new additions, they've added a new track: Sunset Peninsula for full circuit, club circuit, oval circuit, full circuit reverse, and club circuit reverse, which is available in Korea, featured multiplayer series, free play, private multiplayer, featured rivals, and time attack. They've also added some free Mustang cars for everybody, which is added to the showroom, and it is the 2024 Ford Mustang RTR, which has a number 25, a number 88, and a number 130. There's also a new car for Car Pass, which will be gifted to all Forza Motorsport Car Pass holders starting on Wednesday, October 16th, which is the 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse, which is available for players who have the Forza Motorsport Car Pass, Deluxe Edition, Premium Edition, or Premium Add-on Bundle. They've also added Formula Drift cars, which is added to the showroom for everybody, which is the 2020 Formula Drift number 151 Toyota GR Supra, the 2015 Formula Drift number 13 Ford Mustang, the 2006 Formula Drift number 43 Dodge Viper SRT10, and the 1997 Formula Drift number 777 Nissan 240 SX. And that's it for new features and content. Now over to single player. The featured tour is the Mustang Tour from October 16th, which includes Last of the Pony cars, which has Sunset Peninsula, full circuit for 5 laps, Sebring International Raceway, full circuit for 3 laps, Maple Valley, full circuit for 5 laps, and Watkins Glen, full circuit for 4 laps. Then there's Cult Classics from October 23rd with Eagle Rock Speedway, club circuit 11 laps, Lime Rock Park, South Chicane circuit 7 laps, Laguna Seca short circuit 6 laps, and Sunset Palencia club circuit for 6 laps. Then there's Street Stallions from October 30th with Sebring International Raceway short circuit for 6 laps, Road America East circuit 6 laps, Grand Oak National circuit reverse 5 laps, and then Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course short circuit for 6 laps. And then finally you've got Wild Horses from November 6th, so you've got Daytona on the sports car circuit for 4 laps, Laguna Seca full circuit for 5 laps, Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit for 5 laps, and then finally Virginia International Raceway Grand West circuit for 3 laps. And the reward showcase, which is complete all Mustang Tour Series, is Sunset Peninsula full circuit for 5 laps. For Open Class Tour, from October 16th, you've got Catalunya National Alt Circuit, Grand Oak Club Circuit, and then Maple Valley Short Circuit. For C-Class, you've got Sebring International Raceway Short Circuit, Laguna Seca Short Circuit, and Eagle Rock Speedway Club Circuit Reverse. For B-Class, you've got Homestead Miami Speedway Road Circuit, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Circuit Short Circuit, and Road America East Circuit. For A-Class, you've got Watkins Glen Full Circuit, Oconee Grand Prix Circuit, and Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. For S-Class Series, you've got Sebring International Raceway Full Circuit, Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit, and Hockenheim Full Circuit. And then finally, you've got R-Class Series at Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit, Homestead Miami Speedway Road Circuit, and Indianapolis Grand Prix Circuit. And the reward showcase, which is complete all Open Tour Series, is at Sunset Peninsula for the full circuit reverse for 5 laps. The reward cars for the Mustang Tour is the 2018 Celine S302 Black Label, and for the Open Class Tour is the 1970 Ford No. 15 Mustang Boss 302 Trans Am. For the Spotlight cars, you've got the 2024 Ford Mustang GT on October 16th, the 1967 Shelby GT500 on October 23rd, the 1995 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R on October 30th, and the 2013 Ford Shelby GT500 on November 6th. For the VIP discount cars on October 16th, you've got the 2006 Formula Drift No. 43 Dodge Viper SRT 10 and the 2018 Ford Mustang GT. Then you've got the 1967 Ford Mustang GT Coupe on October 23rd and the 2020 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 on October 30th. Now let's move on to multiplayer and rivals. So the first community choice selections in the featured multiplayer event rotation are the GTX Sports Car Series, Forza Proto H, and the GTPC Series. And there will no longer be a Spotlight series. This change will help improve concurrency across all available featured multiplayer series, and they will continue to showcase Spotlight cars in Korea, Rivals, and the Challenge Hub. And as a reminder, following the release of Update 12, Forza GT4 was removed from active featured multiplayer events due to the lack of cars and competitiveness within the series. In its place is the Forza Touring Car Spec Series. The GT4 series will be re-evaluated in the future with the potential of it being included in a GT multiclass variation or its own series again once more GT4 cars have been added. For the featured series from October 16th, you've got the Ford Mustang Challenge Series, the GTX Sports Car Series, and the Shelby GT500 Spec Series. For October 23rd, you've got the Forza Proto H and the MX-5 Cup Spec Series. And then on October 30th, you've got the GTPC Series and the Formula Mazda Spec Series. For Spec Series, you've got the Endurance Series and the Forza GT2, and then the Forza Touring Car on October 16th. And then it's the same again for October 23rd, except it's then GT3, and then it rotates back to GT2 for October 30th. For Open Series, it rotates events between Class P, D, X, C, and E classes daily and will remain available after the Mustang month, and there's a dedicated Class B, A, S, and R class series which will continue to cycle weekly, and those cycle weeklies will be A class series from October 16th, S class series from October 23rd, and then R class series for October 30th. Now for rival events, there is the introduction of Drift Rivals, so Drift 101, 102, 103 events will always be available. However, future updates will also bring their own limited time Drift Rivals, with A-Class Drift and Mediterranean Drift available through Mustang Month. To start with, on October 16th, you've got the featured track, which is of course the Sunset Peninsula Full Circuit, with the 1982 Ford No. 6 Zaxbyed Rouge Mustang Imza GT. For VIP, you've got the Peninsula Prowess in the 2018 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE Forza Edition at Sunset Peninsula Club Circuit Reverse, and then you've got Haunted Hellcat in the 2015 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat on Maple Valley Full Circuit. Then on October 23rd, you've got the Race Mobile 1 Pro Driver with Pablo Montoya in the 1974 Toyota Celica GT on Maple Valley Reverse Circuit. And then we've got the Drift events, so there's the Welcome to Drift 101, rear wheel drive plus tuning and upgrades allowed, no STM or TCS with ABS on or off, and normal or simulation steering on Grand Oak Club Circuit. And then there's Welcome to Drift 102 with rear wheel drive plus tuning upgrades allowed, no STM or TCS with ABS on or off, and normal and simulation steering on Suzuka East Circuit. And then you've got Welcome to Drift 103, which has the same conditions as the previous two at Silverstone National Circuit. And then the Open Class Drift A-Class with the previously mentioned conditions as well at Lime Rock Park. Then we've got the Mediterranean Drift, which is Formula Drift with all the previous conditions as I mentioned, except with stock upgrades on Catalonia National Circuit. For spotlights for October 16th, you've got Ford Mustang, which is the 2024 Ford Mustang GT on Indianapolis Grand Prix Circuit. Then the spotlight for the Shelby GT500, which is the 1967 Shelby GT500 at Lime Rock Park Full Alt Circuit. Then on October 30th, you've got the spotlight for the Ford Cobra R, which is the 1995 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R at Grand Oak Club Circuit. And then finally on November 6th, you've got the spotlight for Ford Mustang again, but this time in the 2013 Ford Shelby GT500 at Watkins Glen Short Circuit. Now let's move on to the Challenge Hub. So the feature challenges from October 16th, you've got the Mustang Challenge, which is complete all series in the Mustang Tour or complete 10 races in the Ford Mustang Challenge series in featured multiplayer, where you get the 2018 Celine S302 Black Label. Then the Open Class Challenge is complete all series in the Open Class Tour or complete 10 races in the Multi-Class series featured multiplayer, and the reward is the 1970 Ford No. 15 Mustang Boss 302 Trans Am. Then you've got the Sunset Peninsula Challenge, which is complete a 25 clean laps on Sunset Peninsula full circuit, and the reward is 50,000 credits. Then Drift Connoisseur, which is complete 5 drift events or get a drift score of 20,000 or higher in a single lap in the Mediterranean Drift Rivals event, and the reward is the 2015 Formula Drift No. 13 Ford Mustang. Then you've got Mustang Mania, which is complete 10 races in any Mustang or complete the last of the Pony Car series in the Mustang Tour in Korea, and the reward is the GT Stallion race suit. And then you've got Spooky Season, which is complete 25 laps at night or beat 15 rivals in the Haunted Hellcat Rivals event, where you get the Los Huertas race suit. Then for October 23rd, you've got the Race Mobile 1 Pro driver Juan Pablo Montoya, where you've got to complete a lap in the Rivals event, where you get 50,000 credits. Now for weekly challenges for October 16th, there's a Spotlight Challenge, which is Reach Car 5 in the 2024 Ford Mustang GT for 25,000 credits. The Weekly Skills Challenge, which is get a segment score of 8 or higher at Sunset Peninsula Full Circuit for 10,000 credits. The Weekly Safety Challenge, which is complete 5 races without receiving an FRR penalty in featured multiplayer for 25,000 credits. Then the Weekly Rivals Challenge, which is complete 10 clean laps in any Rivals event for 10,000 credits. And then the Weekly Track Challenge, which is pass 10 opponents in a single race at Sunset Peninsula for 10,000 credits. For October 23rd, you've got the Spotlight Challenge, which is complete 5 clean laps in that week's Spotlight Rivals event for 10,000 credits. The Weekly Skills Challenge is qualifying pole position in any featured multiplayer race for 25,000 credits. The Weekly Safety Challenge is the complete 5 races without receiving an FRR penalty in featured multiplayer for 25,000 credits. Then the Weekly Rivals Challenge is beat 5 rivals for 10,000 credits, and then the Weekly Track Challenge is get a segment score of 8 or higher on the corkscrew at Laguna Seca for 10,000 credits. For October 30th, the Spotlight Challenge is get on the podium in the 1995 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R in a race with at least 5 opponents for 25,000 credits. The Skills Challenge is complete a race 5 positions ahead of where you started on the grid for 10,000 credits. The Safety Challenge is complete 5 races without receiving an FRR penalty in featured multiplayer. The Rivals Challenge is get a drift score of 5,000 at any Drift Rivals event for 10,000 credits, and the Track Challenge is complete 5 races at Sunset Peninsula for 25,000 credits. And that is all for the Challenge Hub for this month. Now on to bug fixes and improvements. Starting with stability and performance, the following has been fixed. A crash that could happen during a sign-in at the splash screen, occasional crashes that could occur in pop-up dialogues during tutorials and when buying cars, a soft lock which could occur after applying tune when exiting tuning menu from the test drive, a soft lock issue when players could get stuck in the changing car loading screen after selecting a car to use in private and featured multiplayer, an issue where the game would crash when the file option mode for My Files is shown in a community tab and share option is being selected, an issue where the game would crash during controller pairing, occasional crash when accessing fuel and tire menu in pre-race, an issue relating to changing car performance index for any car class on freeplay, an issue where the game would crash when utilizing the search input in Find Designs, a crash during post-race when populating the scoring for the podium, an issue where the game would crash if the player was attempting to save a livery and they already had the maximum number of saved liveries, an issue where the game would crash when viewing replays or in photo mode, a crash showing the transition into My Cars or Buy Cars, and an issue regarding UI transitions when preparing for a track swap. Now, specifically for PC, the change camera hint button is now always visible regardless of an active input. The button icon for camera hint button is now visible when using mouse and keyboard as input. The mid mouse hint button is now visible in view car scene when using mouse keyboard as input. And the hint button text for camera will no longer show up when the player switches to controller inputs. For audio, they've updated the car audio for the following vehicles based on community feedback: the 2022 Pagani Huayra R, the 2014 Chevrolet No. 3 Corvette Racing Corvette C7R, and the 2001 Cura Integra Type R. They've added an all-clear sound to the car proximity radar, and they've also fixed an issue where cockpit audio was not being controlled by the car audio volume slider on some cars. Attached to this audio is some developer notes, and this is what they've said, and I quote: "With regards to car audio, our goal is to ensure that any new cars added to Forza Motorsport are built authentically and uniquely. We are updating our authoring techniques and pipelines so that we can update as many of the most egregious car audio issues as possible. The initial work on this is now complete, and from update 13 onwards, all cars added to the game will be built to this newer specification. In addition, a number of cars that have been flagged as inauthentic, both internally and by the community, will be updated over time. Please stay tuned for additional updates on this in the months ahead." Then for driver AI, there's one change. They've improved the AI trailing ability, especially in braking zones, making AI less prone to rear-ending other cars. For tracks, they've introduced some small yet notable improvements to the Virginia International Raceway track layout, so they've reduced the number of collidable objects on the track, tuned road wetness across the track for better consistency, and they've improved the quality and detail of grass throughout the track. For physics, they've updated the multi-car aero model to reduce downforce impact on leading cars, widen the aero wake near the car, smooth transitions near wake edges, and reduce drafting-induced aero balance changes. For rivals, they fixed an issue where featured rivals and VIP rivals events had dynamic rubbering set to 0% by default. It should now be 100% by default. For featured multiplayer, they've moved the weekly Cycled 1 Make series from the Spec tab to Featured tab. They've removed the Forza GT4 Spec Series and Spotlight Series from the event rotation. They've increased the race length of medium races to target 18 minutes, previously 16 minutes. They've updated the tyre wear scala for all short and medium length races to 4 times, making tyre wear consistent across short, medium and long races in featured multiplayer. They've also updated the Open Series lineup featured multiplayer based on player feedback and concurrency, which I went over in the multiplayer section of this video. They've also fixed an issue in the Endurance Series where players could use a car that did not meet the event restrictions. Now for the car balancing for featured multiplayer, this is all for the Forza Proto H series. So for the 2021 Cadillac No. 31 Whelen Racing DPI VR, they've reduced the horsepower by 0.5%, and they've also reduced the weight by 4.5%. For the 2023 Cadillac No. 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac Racing V Series R, they've reduced the weight by 5%. For the 2023 Cadillac No. 1 Cadillac Racing V Series R, they've reduced the weight by 5%, and they've also done the same to the 2023 Cadillac No. 2 Cadillac Racing V Series R, and they've also changed the 2024 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963, and they've reduced the horsepower by 14%. For private multiplayer, they've fixed an issue where in certain circumstances in a private multiplayer match, players would crash after the host starts the race. They fixed an issue causing pit and penalty information to not display accurately when spectating a race that is in progress. They fixed a crash that could sometimes occur after finishing joining a private multiplayer race and then selecting a new car. They've added the ability to spectate after joining a race in progress, fixed an issue during a multiplayer race where other drivers' cars would flicker during pre-race. They've also fixed an issue where the event info screen wasn't displaying the correct race length after changing the game type to timed race. For the livery editor, they've added a new enter text button to font menus, all upper and lower letters tabs in the apply a vinyl shape vinyl select menus, enabling you to type characters with a keyboard or virtual keyboard and automatically create a vinyl group containing those characters for faster creation of numbers, words, names, and phrases. They fixed an issue where the player could not remove or apply existing liveries when livery storage was full. They fixed an issue when searching for UGC files where finding no results caused the previous search results list to not function properly, and they've also removed the purchase car and apply livery button when overwriting a saved livery. For UI, they fixed an issue where the car proximity radar background remains on screen despite radar not being active. They fixed an issue where switching tabs in the challenge hub sometimes causes challenges to be cut off. They fixed an issue where rented cars inherited the same level and car XP as the previously selected car. They've added a team columns to the pre-race driver list to inform players of each driver's team affiliation. They've also fixed an issue where max leveling 6 or more cars will show an incorrect discount percentage, an issue where players can get soft locked in a race by unplugging their controller and saving a blank controller layout, an issue where a spectated racer's position map number did not dynamically update when passing an opponent, an issue when spectating where backing out of the driver list does not reset the highlighted map icon back to the position of the spectated driver, an issue where the PI limit shown in upgrade and tune is different from the performance index max shown in event setup, an issue where gamer tags display over cars in the first race for new players, an issue where plus 0.00 penalties were given to other drivers are shown in race, an issue where players cannot select the rewind further hint button with mouse, an issue where damaged components time value did not reset after skipping repairs during pitting, an issue where rival times sometimes do not appear, an issue of exiting setup manager after leaving test drive. They've changed the wording on gearing drive speeds for additional clarity during tune setups. The UI now reads shift speed. They fixed an issue where the view button would show the setup manager in the performance menu. They fixed an issue relating to opening and closing the search modal in Find Designs. They fixed the report offensive content modal, not showing the report and back buttons. They fixed an issue where the tire information is displayed incorrectly during a walk the grid. And they've also fixed a visual issue when tabbing between titles in the tune setups menu. For accessories, they fixed an issue where Turtle Beach wheels had inverted force feedback. For accessibility, they fixed an issue in the challenge hub where reward driver suits did not narrate. Fixed an issue in the settings menu where the true force slider options did not narrate correctly. The screen reader will now correctly spell the single character letters instead of narrating the inline markup. They fixed a spelling error in the Volkswagen decal narration line. They fixed a spelling error in the Lightning decal narration line. They've updated the description for Community Vinyls 3, item 30. They fixed a misspelled word in the narration description of livery categories in the design and pane of the word condensed. Screen reader will now narrate dates and pronounce single character lines, e.g. A correctly when browsing UGC and selecting vinyl decals, and the livery group item info panel in the creator tab in vinyl select scene is now fully narrated. Now for localization, for Hungarian, some driver suit names have been updated to reflect accurate translation. For Spanish, they've updated the translations for the race marshal driver suit description. For Italian, they've updated the translations for a rewind message in the HUD, and for Finnish, they've updated the translations for proximity radar position options. And that is it. That is update 13 for Forza Motorsport. I want to know your thoughts on update 13. Let me know in the comments below whether they're good or bad. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more content like this one, make sure you are subscribed. I will keep you up to date on the latest news and updates for Forza Motorsport, as well as other racing and simulation content. So if that interests you, stick around and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.